Hey everyone! Today I'll be showing you how you can make a budget-friendly Ice Mario hat for this coming Halloween with just a couple of things. I'm going to be using my heavy-duty sewing machine for this, and I'm using felt for the Ice Mario hat. You will need just some general things to sew. I bought the felt at Michael's, and I really like this shade of blue for Ice Mario. It's called Lagoon. In case if you're looking for this type of felt, that's where I bought it. These are the premium felt and they cost me $2 each one, and the red and white felt were 49 cents each. First, you will need to grab your blue felt and start by making the top part of the hat. I'm going to make mine about 11 inches and a quarter. I'm going to get my ruler and draw a couple of lines. I'm making 2 lines so that I can try to make something of a good circle. I'm not really good at eyeballing to make a circle, and I don't want to mess it up as I only have 2 felt pieces. You don't have to write on the felt if you don't want to, but I don't mind since this is going to be on the inside of the hat. One thing, if you're going to be cutting out the circle, try to make the circle on the edge of the felt, because I only used 2 felt pieces, but the rest of the felt I did use to make the brims. Now that I'm almost finished with my circle, I'm gonna start by cutting it. As you can see there, I did make my circle towards the edge of the felt. Now that the circle is cut, grab your second felt piece and put your circle on top of it and place it on the edge of the felt. You'll be using the circle you've already cut as a guide. I'm going to give a couple of inches to the top because the next one that I'll be cutting is going to be an oval shape. I've already went ahead and I drew my oval shape, so now I'm going to start cutting the felt. Here are my 2 cut pieces of felt, so now what I'm going to start with is working on the cut for the inside of the hat. Grab your oval felt piece and give about 2 inches or so to the back of the oval to draw your circle cutout for the head. And leave about a good 4 inches to the front part of the oval. At first I was a little confused as to how big I should make the circle for the cutout of the head, since I took the measurement from my son's head using a measuring tape, and I found that the easiest way to do that is just to take the measurement, whether you got the measurement in inches or in centimeters. All you have to do is divide your measurement by pi, and that will give you the diameter of what size your circle should be. When I took the measurement, I also added an extra inch just so the hat wouldn't fit him too tight. Okay, so now I'm going to cut the circle that I just made on the oval. Okay, so I'm almost finished cutting out that circle. So now I'm gonna just grab my circle felt and I'm gonna place it on top of the oval with the pen marks facing on the outside and the pen marks of the oval facing on the outside as well. After cutting out that inner circle of the felt, grab some pins and start pinning the edges of both the felts together, and be sure that if you did write on it like I did, that it's facing on the outside. I had made a Luigi hat too, and the pen marks were facing on the inside of the hat, so I didn't want to make the same mistake again. When pinning the edges, try to line up the edges of the oval to the circle felt. It's not going to be perfect since the felt is kind of thick on mine. Some of the edges have some bulges on them, if you can see on there, but I think it's fine. I think this hat is still going to come out so cute, and honestly, I would prefer to make my son's Ice Mario hat than to go out and buy one. I've seen them at the mall and they cost about $25 to $30 each. I'm practically finished pinning the hat already, and this is the way my hat looks. With the rest of the felt that is left over, you're going to need to make 2 cutouts of the brims. I'm not really measuring it, just kind of eyeballing it, but if you like to, you can measure it to be more accurate. I'm going to be drawing the brim, and I'm also going to make an arch on the bottom since this is going to go on the edge of the hat and it is kind of rounded. My brim doesn't look perfect and it kind of came out smaller than I would have liked, so I'm just going to cut it a little bit bigger. Okay, so now that I've finished cutting both my brims, I'm going to get to sewing the hat and the brims. Okay, so I've already finished sewing my hat and the brims. As you can see, the pen marks are on the outside, and now I'm going to turn over the brims. I did forget to mention when sewing the brims to only sew the outer part so it can be turned over. I did have a little bit of a hard time sewing the hat. If you see the top part of the hat, those are the bulges that happen on the edges since the 2 pieces of felt aren't the same size, but that's okay. The hat won't be perfect like those store-bought ones, but I'm pretty sure my son is going to love his hat anyway. Once you've turned over the brims, put it on the inside of the hat on the wider part, and I'm going to sew this by hand. I would suggest sewing it by hand. It's a small piece anyway. I have a heavy duty sewing machine, but it didn't want to sew the felt. I guess it was just too thick, and I don't want to ruin my sewing machine. Now I'm just going to turn the hat over. Look at how cute that hat looks. I love it. The only thing left now is just the letter and the white piece that goes on the front of the hat. With the red and white felt, I'm going to make the M letter and the white piece just like I did on the Luigi hat. Now that I've already cut out the letter and the white felt, this is how it's going to look on the hat. And all I'm going to do now is just hot glue it on, and that's it. Look at how cute that hat looks. I ended up spending about $7.50 to make my son this cute hat for Halloween, and $5 of it was on the felt and the other $2.50 was on the matching thread. My son loves his hat, and here's the Luigi hat I mentioned earlier with the pen marks on top. If you enjoyed my video and found my tutorial helpful, please like and subscribe. It would really help my channel. And if you haven't already seen my Mario costume tutorial, check it out.